The way that I look at self-love as a woman, y'all, ladies, it's not just getting our hair done. It's not just doing the physical things. Like it's, keeping our word to ourselves, like staying strong on the boundaries that we set for ourselves. That's what I feel like self-love is. I feel like as Black women, like we have to learn how to love our roots. Like this stuff has wisdom in it. When it comes to healing, you got two sides of chemistry, right? You got the acidic side and you have the alkaline side. And we can even relate this to an acidic person versus an alkaline person based on, your behavior as well. But you got these two sides. So the acidic side is what causes disease. It is what causes pain and these men who might be a little bit more feminine, imbalance in that, or men who's balding early. It's an imbalance in your hormones. So I'm saying all that to say that these things play a vital role in our everyday life. And again, the soap that we using, the perfume, the cologne, shit, the water, like all of this different stuff throws us off. So
Look, this is the eye of the trenches.
Welcome to another episode of EyeTalk podcast. Who I got with me?
Gelita,
How you coming? How you coming?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm blessed. Can't complain. So, what you want to speak on today?
I just want to talk a little bit about like how what we eat, how the food system is like it influences our behavior. And like your platform is Eye of the Trenches, surrounded by the trenches. So when I think of that, I think of the violence that's unfortunately out here in the streets. And I believe that what we eat 100% like controls that.
Absolutely. So, may I ask, do you believe or do you know?
Oh, nah, I know for sure.
So you got to change that word because, I'm just saying this because, as you know, words have power. Because our people been believing for too long. We gotta know. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
have you been affected by any violence in your life or anything, or no?
Not directly, but indirectly. My brother, he is 11 now,
Mhm.
but he was shot like 2 years ago by a family member on accident.
Wow.
And like once everything was said and done, we found out that my cousin was like already playing with guns and already trying to like go down that path. So yeah.
So may I ask you, so like you said your cousin was already playing with this, that, and the third. You ever been around him seeing what he ate, like at home, or nah?
Definitely not as much, but like when we go link up, family look get togethers, it be, processed stuff, of course, like different type of meat, dairy, junk food.
Okay, cool. So this one, what I want to ask, what can we eat?
What can we eat? Um, I'll say this, like, because I want to make it simple. I would say the things that takes away your energy, like, that's not for you. Like, treat yourself like a plant, right? A plant, you gotta water it or it's gonna die. So, like, when I got into this health journey, like, I started realizing why they said our body is made up of mostly water. And this water that they talking about is not actual water, it's this fluid called lymph fluid, and this fluid is what carries toxins out of our body through our kidneys. So when we eating like all of this heavy stuff, the meat, the dairy, the starches, the junk food, it causes this fluid to become stagnant. And just like a plant, the soil of a plant, like if you don't water it, it's dead. So what can we eat? Things that brings hydration.
Absolutely. So you know how you spoke on you said it's called lymph fluid, right?
Mm-hmm.
You went to eating a lot of fruits, correct?
Yeah.
Like what H3O is, because a lot of people be so confused on it and everything. Like, you know.
So on a biochemical level, it's like when you look at the structure or something, the molecular structure or something. So H3O2, it means, I mean, yeah, H3O2.
Yeah, that's the
That means it has hydrogen, three oxygen, I believe, and H3O2. No, three hydrogen and two oxygen, I believe.
okay.
But don't quote me on that.
But like, I just want you to explain like why we need it for real, like you know, like for real, because you could elaborate on it better than I can, because you done some extensive research. I'll be watching your page, you be snapping. I ain't gonna lie, like
Yeah, why do we need it? Why do we need what? The H3O2?
yeah, like yeah, break it down, like you know.
Okay.
Where we could
Um,
get it from, like what fruits the best. Like I don't mean to cut your wisdom either. Like what's
now
the
you
best
good.
fruits to get it from? This, that, and the third. You know.
Why do we need it? Because that's our life force, you know. Again, this I'm big on this plant analogy. Like that's literally what it is. And I'm gonna just give you some examples because I went so back in March, I did a 31-day juice cleanse, and then I was like raw vegan, meaning I was eating food that wasn't cooked for about 5 months. And then I say in August, I started including some cooked foods, and even though it was vegan, I learned something. So I don't want to confuse y'all, but when it comes to healing, you got two sides of chemistry, right? You got the acidic side and you have the alkaline side. And we can even relate this to an acidic person versus an alkaline person based on, your behavior as well. But you got these two sides. So the acidic side is what causes disease. It is what causes pain and inflammation. Like when somebody say inflammation, like break up that word. Like it has flame. That means fire. That means burning. Right. So when you eating like the heavier foods, they get stuck in your body and causes this inflammation. Now, when on the alkaline side, basically the alkaline side brings in hydration. And remember, like if our body is made up of mostly water or this fluid, then that means we need to continue bringing in fluid, the water from the fruits and the vegetables to keep this fluid moving. So again, when I started eating back cooked foods, and this will be considered an acidic food, I started getting mucus that came up. Like I remember vegan deal, I had a fried oyster mushroom,
Mhm.
and mind you, that's like one of the healthiest vegan foods you can eat. But that literally made me sick. Like within the next 2 days, I was coughing. I had to start drinking teas. And that showed me right there, like, damn, if I ate something as simple as a mushroom and that shit had me coughing up mucus, then imagine everybody else that's eating worse than me. And the thing is, like, we became so used to like mucus and pain that we don't even recognize it. Like right now, because I've been eating the way that I've been eating, any little thing I recognize it. If I feel constipated, I recognize it. Where the average person, you talk to them and they don't even know, like they unaware. So, I mean, not to go off track of your question, but why we need it, because our health is literally equal to the quality of our life. Like I'm not saying that you can't be successful eating a certain way, but I will say that if you have the choice to wake up every day and have energy and feel good, like you real big on your affirmations. If you could wake up every day and do that, you would choose to do that.
Mhm.
But if you waking up every day and you putting death into your body, then how can you produce like these lively results? So I think that's why we got to do it.
Facts. Facts. I'm with you on that because like I ain't gonna lie, like I've been like doing like one meal a day now, so I've been fast, sun up to sundown. I ain't touching nothing. I ain't eating nothing till like the sunset. But like,
Sheesh.
yeah, but like I had backtracked though. Like after Ramadan, I was doing good during Ramadan. Like a month after Ramadan, I had relapsed in a way. You don't get what I mean? Like relapsed, and it was so hard, like coming back off that. Like, but I felt like it a lot played into it, just a lot going on mentally and everything. So like, can you explain how like your mental can mess up how you might eat? You know what I mean?
Mm,
And how like it can make it worse if you keep eating them type of foods though, you know?
yeah. So, okay. So you were saying that a lot of stuff was going on. Then I look at that as stress.
Mhm.
So whenever we talk about stress, like I feel like people always think that it's something like, I don't know, big or like physical, but it's not. So when your body perceives a threat, this can be physical or psychological, meaning I'm overthinking, I got a lot of stuff going on, I'm worried about trying to get X, Y, and Z done. Different things start to happen in your body. And one of the things that happen is your body starts to release glucose to give you more energy, right? So this makes you want to start craving like the heavier food. A lot of our people, like, we on breads and pastas, we on that stuff heavy, right? So when you under stress, your body need that energy to fight off that threat, and then you start craving all these different foods. So that's one, like, we got to make sure that we assist in our body in lowering our stress levels. And obviously we can't, that's going to happen regardless, but you can do things like take certain herbs for that. And then what was your question again? I'm sorry.
But like, no, you pretty much answered it. You pretty much answered it. But like I was asking like, you know, when you eat bad, like how it can make you more stressed in a way. Because I felt like I was depressed. Like now I've been like smiling for no reason. Like, cause I've been on this for like I ain't really documented and posted it on the internet. Cause I be feeling like I be jinxing myself in a way, you know, like so like I just been on it. But like now I just be smiling for no reason. Like I be sober as hell, feeling like I'm fried. Like you get what
Yeah.
I'm. But like when I was eating during the day or doing stuff like that. I felt like, ugh, like I can't explain. I was depressed,
Yeah.
like. But is it like science to that or something, for lack of better words?
yeah, absolutely. So I'm not sure on the details of the science, but I do know that our gut and our brain is most definitely connected. So your original question was how can our mental state affect what we eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the powerful thing about our gut is that we have living organisms within our gut, this bacteria, this microbiome. And basically this microbiome have the power to send these signals to your brain and signal you to want certain things. Like, I got a story of a time that I was high,
Hmm.
and I was coming down from the high, and that day I think I had like, I had something that had to do with rice, some type of that had to do with rice. And I was coming down from the high, and kid you not, I had different type of shit in the house to eat, but it's like that bad bacteria in my gut had woke up, and it literally told my mind like I don't want nothing else but that meal. And I had some other shit in front of me, and I instantly went to that meal like that's what I wanted. And it's like in that moment, I'm like, that's when I knew how powerful like the bacteria in our gut was. Like, it has the power to influence your thoughts. And the reason how this happened is because once you start accumulating a certain type of food, that's what the bacteria is going to thrive off of. And the other thing is that a lot of us walking around constipated. Like, people think that, oh, because I use the bathroom once a day or because something is coming out, I'm good. But it's not about you eliminating, it's about the quality of it. And basically, when this waste sit in your stomach, this causes bacteria to come in and try to help you break it down. But because we don't allow our body enough time to eliminate it, this bad bacteria starts to build up. And now think of it as like an army or something in your body. Like now the ops, aka the bad bacteria, just came and fucked everything up. And now it's causing your mind to like, I want this, I want that, and it becomes uncontrollable.
Dang, that's crazy. So like pretty much you saying we just eating, and putting more and more and more on top of us, right? So like I know you do your fast, right? So that's the power of fasting right there, right? Pretty much.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, yes, we have to start fasting and we gotta think of it like long term. You feel me? Like I feel like a lot of us feel like because the doctor not telling you you got cancer or you got whatever, like you good. But it's like these cancer, it starts with pain and headaches and oh, I'm tired, I don't ever have energy. Like these type of big diseases starts with the little things. So I tell people like when it comes to fasting, you gotta start, I feel like fasting is a very hard thing to do, and it's very hard. But let's say if you do develop a disease when you older and you don't want to go to the doctor, so you go to a herbalist or a naturopath, and they be like, hey, look, I'm gonna put you on these herbs, but I'm gonna need you to eat all raw for 90 days. Like, are you able to do that if your life depends on it? So that's why we gotta start now.
Yeah, I want to add on to that because I really like last year, or literally right around this time, I lost two aunties back to back, like some of my closest aunties, like back to back. So like one of them had got lung cancer or whatever, right? But the thing is, when you get cancer, people don't realize this. It forces you to fast. The main symptoms, like main things people can't do when they have cancer, they can't eat or drink. So
Mm,
why wait till you get to that level where your body forcing you to fast? Why do it beforehand so you ain't gotta do that? You get what I mean? That's my take on it. But you know, so
that's facts.
yeah. So
That's facts.
next thing I want to ask you, really, because you like I don't have a lot of women on my platform yet. Of course, I want to get to that, but we
Mm.
know you mainly like focus on the women, so I want you to like literally take the lead, speak on what you want to speak on, like questions people ask you often that you don't really get to like vocalize. I want you to really do that now, you know?
Okay. Okay. Well, I actually had wrote some notes down that I wanted to touch on for this.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with the chakra system?
I know a little bit about it. I know like the red, that's like the bottom, right? And then like the top
Mm-hmm.
is like purple, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I
So
know.
I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but this is very much related. Like I put this together a long time ago and it blew my mind. So when you talk about the chakras, right, it's these seven energy centers that governs not just the spiritual but the physical. Now, the two that I want to focus on is going to be the first one, which is the root chakra, and the second one, no, not the second one, the third one, which is the solar plexus, right? So with the first chakra, this keeps us grounded. This governs our safety. This governs our stability. This governs like our trust in the universe or just in whatever. Now, the food industry so like evil, bro. Now, mind you, these chakras go by colors. The
Hmm.
root chakra is red. So when you take a look at the McDonald's or what other restaurants got red in it,
All
um,
of them, pretty much. Even the
Chick-fil-A, exactly. So the thing that I connected with this, right? If you got red and red, these foods keep us in our lower centers, which is the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. Now, if you take a neighborhood that got all the stores we just named, and you look at the people. A lot of these people are stuck in that root. Why? Because they stuck in survival mode. They may have thoughts of, oh, I don't trust nobody, or just I don't trust in the universe in general. Like they always trying to figure out how is this gonna happen, how is that gonna happen. They not trusting, right? The other thing is that fight or flight mode, how we just talked about. You always stress, and when it comes to like, I don't want to say the trenches like it's everywhere, but just based off of my perspective of it, what is everybody trying to do? Like from what I've known when I used to be a part of that stuff, cracking cards and doing all of this stuff because you're in survival mode. And then, even when it comes to the violence, like I actually, like a long time ago, my sophomore year, I was with somebody that was in the streets like heavy. And I'm talking about it got to the point, it got so bad where I'm going outside looking over my shoulder, and even though I've never been into that stuff myself personally, when I experienced that, like I don't know, it touched me a different way where I can understand people a little bit more that live that lifestyle, because that shit's scary. Like you don't want to walk out the house every day watching over your back. So even that, it keeps you in survival mode. Now I want to talk about the sacral chakra. This is the color orange, but it still plays a role in these restaurants, right? Because
I don't mean to cut you off. Like, where on the body is the orange one?
oh, I'm sorry. The orange one is like right below the belly button.
Okay.
Yeah, right below the belly button, and this governs our reproductive organs. Now, mind you, when you look at people that's in their lower self eating certain foods, a lot of these people are over sexual. Like the men, think you gotta have sex with any and everything. And from what I think, where you from, like you was raised different, you know better. And feel like maybe some of the people you came across, they not as disciplined as
Yeah,
you.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, you can't even say that because, like, I come from a divorce household, right? So, like,
Really?
yeah, I come from a divorce household. So, I grew up with my mother and I grew up with my father, but it wasn't every day. I had to, you know what I'm saying? So, I had my trials and tribulations with all this stuff you name it. So, it's like, it ain't like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I really had to, like, grow up. I ain't really see like really grow up till I got about 20. Like 20, I'm 23.
Mm.
It's still like stuff I'm doing is still fresh to me. Like I had to open up them books again, like how to eat to live and stuff like that. But like I come from all that same exact background. Like I knew a little bit, but I ain't know enough. I just wanted to say that real quick before.
And you said you're 23 right now.
Yeah,
Right, but you know better now at 23. Like it's
100%.
you feel me? So yeah, that aspect. The other thing, the last thing, the most important thing is the solar plexus. This is the stomach. This governs the stomach. This governs the liver. This governs all the digestive organs, right? Now, again, when you look at color therapy, I can't really name like too many restaurants that have yellow off the top of my head, but I know McDonald's one. And again, you go eat McDonald's. First thing I hear people saying, oh, it had me on the toilet in the bathroom. You feel me? So all of this stuff that surround us is meant to keep us in our lower nature. And because above those three chakras, you got the heart, you got the throat, you have the third eye, and the crown. These are all like the higher levels of consciousness. But first, one like men, not just men, but men and women have to conquer those lower three. And just off the color therapy, like connected with the food, that shows you that, you know, this shit messing us up.
Absolutely.
Um, my nose running. Hold on.
Good. Handle your business. Handle your business.
um, the other thing that we have to work on, to heal ourselves is our endocrine systems, right? This also governs everything. And I haven't done like extensive research on the connection, but just off what I know, like how you say do you believe somewhere, like this is something that I know. When I see like these stories of how these 17-year-olds killing their whole families because the mom talking about you can't have a sleepover, like dumb shit. Like it makes me wonder what would possess this young man or this young woman to do something like that. And
Mm.
when you talk about the endocrine system, this has to do with our hormones. What our hormones, they are like many messengers. So think of yourself and your sibling. Y'all had this communication between each other. So our hormones work the same way. So like a lot of stuff that interferes with this, it's not just the food, but it's the soap that we use, the
Oh,
perfume. Yes, the
right.
soap.
Dang, like I just seen you post something on perfume too as well. I don't mean to cut you off, but that just blew my mind. Please go into detail on that because you snapping. You snapping right now. I ain't gonna lie.
So if you go look at the back of any of your soap, it's one ingredient that I bet you'll see. It's called sodium lauryl sulfate, and it's abbreviated as SLES or SLS. And basically, this is like a known carcinogen. It's known to cause cancer. Even the FDA, the people that approve like all of this different stuff, they classified that as a carcinogen. And then when you think of all of the other ingredients in the soap, it gets into your skin and it alters the way that things communicate in your body. So like one example is this: a woman who's menstruating and she might have mood swings, she might have heavy periods or cramps, like this is all hormonal, right? Or like a woman that has like PCOS, this is when you have like cyst or you have too much testosterone, aka another hormone. So like our hormones play a role in everything. A woman who can't breastfeed when she have a baby, this is because prolactin, which is a hormone that produces breast milk, is imbalanced. A man, the male hormones is testosterone. You have different levels of testosterone, but these men who might be a little bit more feminine, imbalance in that, or men who's balding early, it's an imbalance in your hormones. So I'm saying all that to say that these things play a vital role in our everyday life. And again, the soap that we using, the perfume, the cologne, shit, the water, like all of this different stuff throws us off. So this brings me back to my point of why it's important to be fasting, why it's important to eat as healthy as you can, because it's not, we fighting this war from every angle.
Mm.
All the things I just named, on top of the clothes we wear, the air that we breathe. Like, dude, I was watching a documentary yesterday on Netflix. I believe it's called something with shopping. And it gave us a behind the scene that everything that we buy is never getting thrown away. Like it's always going somewhere else. And these chemicals are being recycled back into the earth, back into the air that we breathe.
Places where they just get bunch of trash, like clothes is trash, like right on the shores and stuff. It's places like that where they really doing that. Like it's terrible for real. So that it's sad actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that like I want to give some little tips too, practical tips that we can do um to start our health journeys. Number one, look, if you gonna eat how you want to eat, make sure you taking your herbs. Like I'm the type of person where I'm like, you can't really do both. It's just like saying, oh, I'm trying to heal from, let's just say, I don't know, cancer, but I'm drinking alcohol. Like it's counteracting. But if you're not ready to change your diet, you gotta take herbs that cleanses your blood. Like Burdock root is one. Sarsaparilla is one. Nettle is one. You want to take herbs that cleanse your colon. Because again, um this helps us not be clogged up, right? So you got cascara se grande, you have senna leaf, you got things like yellow dock root. If you drink a lot of alcohol, herbs that cleanse your liver. See, it's like I feel like we take a lot of this stuff for granted. Like our liver is what processes all of the toxins that we take in. So if we constantly drink alcohol, we constantly smoking weed, like that's a lot of work on our liver to break this stuff down and help us eliminate it out our body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we got to make sure we take your liver herbs. And I would say those the main three: your blood, your colon, liver, and definitely kidneys. Now, wait, do you have any comments to say on that?
No, I'm listening. I'm taking it all in right now. Keep doing your thing. This like
Oh,
school for me. You feel me? I'm learning right now. So
for
yeah.
sure, for sure. Um, when it comes to the kidneys, I want to put an emphasis on that because like my grandma, my one of my great grandmas, she had cancer. And now that I'm in this field, I think back on it. She used to be on dialysis. I
Mhm.
don't know if the listeners y'all know what dialysis is, but it's like a program where they have to like manually take the fluid out of your body because your kidneys can't. And that's the thing that you don't want to go down. Like once your kidneys go down, over with. Why? Because remember we got this lymph fluid that carries the toxins, but the kidneys is what eliminate it out of our body. So for example, if you ever peed and your pee burn, and not because you had nothing, but it just burned. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. That's what acids feel like. Or if you get sweat in your eye, it burns. That's what acids feel like. So, in other words, when you think of that same burning sensation you feel if you pee or you get sweat into your eyes, when you eat an acidic food, that's what your tissues and your organs is feeling. And you, the body, the person, you're saying, like it hurt right here. So that's what that manifestation is. And in order to get that waste out, it gotta go through the kidneys. So make sure y'all taking y'all kidney herbs. Um, Now, when it comes to changing your diet, I will say that that's definitely a slow process. But just because it's slow, you want to make sure that you actively taking steps towards it, just like any other goal. Like for me in 2019, I'm like, I'm done eating red meat, and I was done with that. I said I was done eating chicken, but I'll say the first 6 months of 2020, I wasn't eating chicken. I went back to it. But guess what? I went back to it for like a period of time, about a month or so, and I stopped again. And that's kind of how my journey has been. Like I remember 2022, I was vegan for like maybe a whole year. And I was craving seafood, I was craving salmon, and guess what I did? I allowed myself to have it for a month, and my period was terrible that next month. And that showed me like, nah, we not aligned with that no more. So I'm saying all that to say that like make a decision that you want to do it, and then slowly but surely, do it. And I think it'll be successful like that.
So do you consider yourself vegan or plant-based?
Well, I feel like they the same thing. But you do have different type of vegans though. Like you have the ones that eat the processed vegan food. And to be honest, like you can still get sick and die from that. Like you can still accumulate this diseases from the beyond meats and
Yeah,
all of that.
all that soy in it and everything. That soy ain't no good for nobody. Like that, it's a
Exactly.
lot of estrogen in women. Like I ain't an expert in it, but I know a little bit.
You're right.
Then that makes soy boys. If you ever heard the term soy boys, like
Nah.
so that mean like men to act a little more feminine because that's what that soy do to you though, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They give you
Absolutely.
breasts. Like you ever seen a man like they be skinny sometimes but look like they got breasts still? That's because they got too much estrogen in them and stuff like that.
I recently was just like, I met a transgender
I,
and huh?
I said, oh wow. No, that's
Yeah, I met a transgender and we like went, he was very open. I'm like, look, like I'm into the health field, like I'm interested to know like what was this transition like? And basically he was saying like he was taking estrogen and he didn't grew like breast and um that's okay. Like, and the other thing about it is he like women. Like, how do you be born a man and then it's just like I don't wanna seem like I'm judging, but
that's why I ain't even gonna say nothing on this topic. That's why I'm quiet.
yeah, it's crazy. So, and even with that type of stuff, I just feel like, I'm not gonna be delusional and say everything is related to food, but I feel like I didn't got so deep into my journey that I understand that food is literally a consciousness. Like you will like I look at you as a person with high consciousness. You got your affirmations going on, you very driven, like all of that stuff, where you got somebody else that's operating on a lower frequency. So I just feel like when you consuming the higher frequency foods, the foods that come from the sun, the food that comes from the earth, then you're going to be vibrating on a certain level, like certain thoughts. Oh, I want to change my identity. I want to be whatever, whatever. Like that's not even going to come to your mind. And if it do, like your mind and your spirit going to be so strong where you able to switch like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're right though, because like at the end of the day, I don't want to make this episode too long because I don't want
yeah,
you to talk about everything because I want to bring you back like
yeah.
constantly. Like eventually, I'm gonna bring you back with somebody else, so like we could just have a whole healthy discussion. But I feel
Mhm.
like you know how you said they want to change this about themselves, this, that, and the third. Like it start with self love though. You know what I mean? Like even if you're in a worst state possible, you gotta love that state you in to get to that next state. Like that's all it's gonna take for us to look in that mirror and find that self love. That's how
Mm,
you gonna eventually start eating better because if you love yourself, you're not gonna allow certain things. Like you won't allow yourself to do certain things. You know what I mean? Like for real.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So would you want to elaborate on self-love a little bit? But I want you to speak for the queens though, please, because like I always got the kings on my platform. I need you to speak for the queens, like, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Self-love. The way that I look at self-love as a woman, y'all, ladies, it's not just getting our hair done. It's not just doing the physical things. Like it's, keeping our word to ourselves, like staying strong on the boundaries that we set for ourselves. That's what I feel like self-love is. And the other thing, like that I really, really want to talk on because this was a big like transformation for me when it comes to my hair. Like, don't get me wrong, do you? But I feel like as Black women, like we have to learn how to love our roots. Like this stuff has wisdom in it. And I just feel like a lot of us, like me personally, I used to be the type where if my hair wasn't done, I'm not coming outside the house. Like, it was that bad. And I just want to see more Black women just residing in there in the most naturalist way as possible. And then as far as, health and healing, I think that it's very important. Like just looking at the dynamic of us as a whole, like women, we play a very, very important role in the household because a lot of us we want a man that's strong. We want a man that's take care of us and have the mental energy, the mental power to go out here and provide for us and protect us. So it's like what we do for him at home is what's going to allow that man to do that, feeding him the right food. And it don't just start in the kitchen, but We can get into like the essential oils, the things to help with stress and all of that different type of stuff. But all of that starts with ourselves. Like we gotta dive into the information. We have to do the stuff for ourselves so that we can know, what to do. And it's like, I feel like not a lot, but they be locking our men up and doing all these different types of things. So I think as a woman, like it's just important to make sure our man got what he need physically, spiritually, mentally to do what he needs to do for us.
Absolutely.
So
I could elaborate on that real quick before we close out. I want to say
mhm,
this, like as you're saying, as women, y'all got to do that, but as men, we got to do better too. Like I ain't gonna ever put like, cause I don't want people to put the blame on nobody. That's the last thing I want people to do on my platform. So like, as men, we got to take accountability and do better ourselves because we've we've kind of created a lifestyle as men to make women have to be more masculine. So they forgot what it means to be a healer. You know what I mean? Like for real.
mhm,
But we know it's the system, right? But we've been knowing it's a system forever. So now it's up to us to forget about the system and really lock in on this type of stuff right here. Like for real, for real. Like that's just something I just had to say. Cause like we got people doing it. You doing it. And right now you inspiring so many other women. You probably don't even know you inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. So kudos to you on what you doing. Shout out to all the queens that's doing this. Shout out to all the kings that's doing this. Like for real, for real.
mhm, for sure.
So you got any last words before we close out? Like anything else you want to get off your chest? Just feel free, like for real.
Not really, other than I appreciate you for giving me the platform to speak because like it's one thing to like study and post, but then it's another thing to actually practice by talking about it. So I like this type of stuff. It's practice for me.
For sure. That's love for real. Cause like eventually I want to get you on the actual camera because like I'm just starting this off. So it ain't as big as it's gonna be. You get what I'm saying? But like if you ever like want to do like a documentary on you, like for real, like me pull out the camera, you can pull out all the herbs. Like we had a dispensary, but for the herbs and everything, like let's do it. Like for real. Let's
So
keep
absolutely. And the last thing is like I was thinking about this yesterday. You really inspired me because I'm like, damn, like because when you told me it was a Zoom, like I expected it to be like a podcast, how they be. And I thought about it yesterday, like, bro, that shows a lot about your character. Like that shows how you just like they say that you ain't supposed to wait till everything is perfect. Like you just do that shit and it's gonna flow. And I respect you for that for sure.
appreciate it because I've been trying to get it. Well, I ain't gonna say trying. I'm trying to. Dang, I'm working to stop saying the word trying because like you try food, you don't try this life stuff. That's like what I be saying. So like I've been working to get a team for so long, but everybody just thinking about money right away. They just thinking about monetary gain. They ain't like people don't realize I don't really make too much off what I'm doing right now because I'm pushing something completely different than what everybody doing. Like I gotta turn down a lot of pay. So it's like I'll be wanting people to just lock in how I'm trying to lock. Well, not trying to, but working to lock in because
Yeah,
I know what this could be for the city. Like if I had a bunch of cameras on us right now and we sitting down on a couch, this, that, and the third, the desk, whatever, and we had the same conversation, it'd be much more powerful. But this is a start right
this is
here.
powerful. This is powerful right here for sure.
Like eventually we're gonna be able to have somebody from like you probably know somebody from like New York, Cali. We could all be on here together speaking on these same topics and everybody could add their own little think piece, like how they do on Clubhouse and do all that.
Mhm.
That's my goal with this for real. Like
Yeah, that's lit. I'm with it.
absolutely. And I gotta say this before we close out. You speak very well. You gotta do something like this for yourself, for your platform, for the people that watch you, because it's needed. Don't worry about the views, because right now I'm not worried about the views. Because if one person watch this, that's enough. Because that one person might be able to inspire 10 other people, and that 10 other people can inspire 1,000. So like
Yeah,
you gotta you gotta lock in on something like this for real, for real. I know you do your reels, I'll be seeing you, but you gotta lock in on something
yeah,
like this, because like your stuff is powerful, and I ain't just saying that. Like you really doing some inspiring for real, for real. Like so, for real,
uh,
kudos to you. You know,
for sure.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's a wrap though. It's a wrap.
All right, y'all. I am the trenches. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So say your name again, your social media, so they know all that. You know.
Yeah, it's Gelita. My Instagram is Intrinsic Healing Co. I spell the first word out for y'all. It's INTRINSIC Healing Co. And
All
that's how you find me.
right. So this is a
Yeah,
wrap for the episode of the iTalk podcast with Gelita Intrinsic Healing Co. Let's
yeah.
get it. Go follow her. Go get her products. Go do all that. Ask her them questions. You know, I'm gonna have on her again. So peace and
All
blessings.
right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Look! This is the eye of the trenches!